Hey everybody, it's Alex, and I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about Hanukkah. As you know, over the last few years, I've been fascinated with learning more about the Jewishness of Jesus. And many times during this time of year, I see some of my Christian friends post online things like, it's not happy holidays, it's Merry Christmas, as if the only holy day at this time of year is Christmas. And that just fails to take into consideration that no one in the Bible celebrated Christmas. And in fact, Jesus celebrated Hanukkah, as we see in John chapter 10. So I've asked two of my good friends, Alex and Ruben, to just sit down with me for a few minutes and share about their experiences about Hanukkah, answer some of my questions about Hanukkah, and hopefully give you a little bit more idea about what this holy day, what this holiday is about. I mean, it was seminary before I even heard of the Maccabean Revolution, and I think a lot of Christians are in the dark about this. So I'm really excited about you guys taking time out of your day to sit down and fill myself in and my church in with some more information about Hanukkah. So I wanted to give you guys a chance first to just kind of introduce yourselves, maybe talk about your background, your upbringing, kind of like how you relate to Hanukkah.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. This is exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to do this.
Of course, this is going to be fun. So, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're both Jewish. We were both raised Jewish, but my dad is really atheist. So like growing up, we really didn't have a lot of religion, and then both of my parents, so my parents got divorced, and then both of my parents remarried Catholic Italian people. So I grew up
Complicated.
a little bit of Hanukkah, but mostly Christmas. My mom always has like identified with her Jewish identity, and especially recently in the last like 10 years or so, I would say she's gotten like more serious about it. But and it's something that like she and I are kind of like talking about and doing together, which is fun. But yeah, it was not like a huge part of my childhood. But then since Ruben and I have been together, so we've been together for the better part of like 15 years. So like
16 years, yeah.
since we've been together, I feel like because his family has a lot more like strong Jewish tradition, I've gotten more involved in my Judaism. And now you want to talk about your.
Yeah, so I mean, where do I even begin? I guess I had a bar mitzvah. My family's been Reformed Jewish, so like
Okay.
we
Yeah.
go to temple a lot more often. Than pretty much after my bar mitzvah, it kind of slowed down, and now my parents go only during like
Holidays.
high holidays.
Which Hanukkah is not, by the
Which
way.
Hanukkah? You're right, Hanukkah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know this wasn't a question that I asked, but I've heard that Hanukkah isn't quite as like Christmas is a pretty big deal to Christians, but Hanukkah isn't quite equivalent, right?
Not even
Like on
Uh,
the important.
Right.
no, not at all.
I mean, like Passover would be
Excuse me.
more of an equivalent.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yom Kippur.
Or Yom Kippur, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, so we should talk about what Hanukkah is first before we talk about how it's like not as important.
Okay. Sorry, I'm already getting off track.
That's okay. We are.
Um, well, guys, thank you again. Let's jump into some of these questions. So the first one I wanted to ask is, what's the proper spelling of Hanukkah? Because here's what happens. Sometimes I want to wish some of my coworkers or some of my friends like Happy Hanukkah, and I'm like, what if I spell it wrong and it's offensive? Because I've seen it spelled like so many different ways, and I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm ignorant. I don't understand the right spelling, and there's been all these dumb English people like respelling it wrong. And so, give us the correct. How should we be spelling it?
However you want.
Yeah, any which way really works. It kind of moved from, as we like moved from area to area, the dialect kind of
Okay.
just changed. I guess the correct one would be like the CH version of it, but
Oh, okay.
But actually, I
Any-
think the most common one is
Yeah,
HANNUK.
that's the most common one.
I think is the most common one.
And so I've seen it with like two N's, and then sometimes with one N and two K's, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
It makes
I don't know what to do.
whatever floats your boat.
Okay.
I do CH.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, but I don't think it matters. And honestly, I couldn't begin to tell you how many N's or K's I use because I probably use it interchangeably.
Okay, awesome. Well, that makes me feel better that I probably
Yeah.
haven't offended anybody by spelling it wrong.
No, you definitely haven't. Just wishing somebody a happy Hanukkah is nice.
Okay, good. So I found that most Christians are completely ignorant about what the holiday's actually celebrating. We're ignorant about most Jewish holidays,
Yeah.
even though all the founders of the Christian faith were Jewish. But Hanukkah, people really have no idea. And I really didn't until, I was in my late 20s in seminary and I've heard the story for the first time. I'm like, this is an awesome story. So could you give
Yeah.
us a quick synopsis of the story behind Hanukkah?
Yes. Well, so you are really the person to go to, I think, for like the real story, the grown-up version, with all the history and all of that, because I sort of get it, like the first holy temple and then the destruction of the first holy temple and then the second holy temple and all that. The very short version is that the second temple was under attack by Syrians and Greeks, and right.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Jewish group
Clan.
of the a clan of the Maccabees, and they defeated the invaders who were like trying to take over and destroy the temple, and
Locked themselves in.
And during that time they had only enough olive oil to burn for one night, but it actually burned for 8, which allowed them to go and get more oil. And so they considered this to be a miracle. And then we have now celebrated the miracle of lights as Hanukkah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I thought that was a great synopsis, similar to what I've read. So thank you. Ruben, do you have anything to add there?
I did like a little bit of a quick Google there. I'm not gonna lie. Trying to make sure I had all my words right.
Oh, good. My Christian friends won't feel so bad when they don't always know what the holiday's about. When sometimes Jewish people don't know what they're about either.
Story of Hanukkah like that?
No, nobody.
I feel like I sort of knew the story, but like I didn't really know about the Maccabees until I was older.
Like, I mean,
okay.
I knew about the Maccabees and stuff, but like in my house, it was like, here's, 8
Presents.
nights of presents and like you
Games,
say the
food.
prayers
Yeah.
for the candles over the days, and that's.
Oh, we'll talk about that for a minute. So there's a present each night.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
Well, I don't think Hanukkah started out with
Yeah,
gifts. I think
did
the
not.
Hanukkah,
Yeah,
from
I'm
what
sure
I
it
read
didn't.
before, started out with money actually, and then
Oh,
as
okay.
Christmas got bigger,
Hanukkah
Hanukkah
kind of
became
followed suit.
like
Okay,
a.
interesting.
Tacos.
So there's prayers.
I can't.
Oh my God. There's prayers every night. So you pray for 8 nights. Wait, actually I'll grab. Okay, so you have
Is
your
it
menorah.
set prayers? Like, do you pray the same thing? Like, is it a standardized prayer?
It is
First
for
night.
the first night, and then you basically do like the first night and the second night, and then the third night, and then it's the same from that point.
Okay.
forward.
Okay,
So
interesting.
So you have it's a menorah, which is like a 9-prong candelabra. So you have your 8 nights, and they all look different. This just happens to be ours. But you have your 8 nights, and then you have the one that you use to light all of the candles, which is called.
Oh, I
It
forget.
has a name.
I didn't know it had a name. Oh,
And
okay.
you do it from left to right.
And you go from left to right,
Okay, interesting.
which actually,
Nelson,
for the purposes of viewers, I think goes this way.
Okay, yes.
So we pray every night, and then different people have different traditions. So Ruben's family every year, obviously not this year, which is like such a bummer, but every year Ruben's family has a Hanukkah party, and they have this huge party, and his mother makes like the best latkes, and people literally like wait for them to come out. So Ivy makes latkes, and we have like a big party, and we do like a big gift exchange. It's super, super fun. People play dreidel. We haven't really played dreidel in a long time. So a dreidel is
It's like a top. like a wooden top.
Yeah, it's like
top.
it's like a four-sided top.
Yeah. And it's got different Jewish symbols on it. And actually, when I was doing my quick Google, when I was doing my quick Google before, it was actually to get children involved in like learning Hebrew and history.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't realize that was its origin. I'm learning so much today, so thank you.
Now it's just a gamble.
Me too.
Gamble your chocolate away.
And so we play with gelt, which we were talking about before, is Jewish. It's the Jewish word, or the Hebrew word probably, for the chocolate coins.
Okay, so I'd known the chocolate coins, but I didn't know the correlation there. So
yeah, so you play for gelt, and they have different meanings, and there's like real rules to dreidel, but I honestly don't know it. Do you know it?
Forgot them. I haven't played in so long. Like I just spin the top for fun.
Yeah. So, but like you'll see them out, and you just like spin them around. I know if you get a high, I think that's the one that's the big
that's like
winner.
double or
Yeah.
Okay, fascinating. So do you have a favorite?
We'll have to get and learn the real rules and play.
Yes, I'd love that because I love games, so I'd love to learn that. Do you guys have a favorite childhood memory of the holiday? Or it could be an adult memory, but
I mean, so at least in my family, my parents used to give us like small gifts, so like a $5 bill, like a small action figure, and then at the end of on the 8th night would give like me and my siblings one big present. So like we would get a hockey table, one like
sweet.
Arcade hockey tables. We had that for a little while. But other than that, honestly, it would just be the Hanukkah party.
Okay, just the party of getting together. One of the things that has fascinated me as I've learned more about Jewish culture and Jewish history is the feasts and the festivals always have to do with food. Like there's always this community aspect of eating together, and I love that that's at the heart of almost every one of the holidays. Now, Alex, you said
our holidays always have to do with food. Oh, something is happening. So sorry.
That's okay. Alex, you said your upbringing didn't prioritize Hanukkah quite as much, but do you have any memories about it that were favorite memories?
So we did always have candles. Like my mom, we always had candles, and we did always pray. Yeah, like we still always had that. And I think like any time, I think the thing for me about Jewish holidays in particular is that it's like representative of our immediate family, but it's also representative of like Jewish people just all over the world. There's really not that many of us comparatively, and we've been driven out everywhere we've ever been, and there's so much interesting history. So for me, it feels very like sacred and ancient to participate in these things. So, and I think I don't think I fully understood that when I was like in high school, but I also think like maybe a little part of me did. And so now when I look back at that, I'm like, wow, like I've been participating in these like really cool ancient, I mean, Judaism also spans like every ethnicity, every like, there's I mean, Jews look so different, and it's kind of cool to participate in something with people all over the world who don't look like us, who are still doing the same stuff and celebrating.
Yeah, that's when the Christian church is at its best. That's one of the things I love. It's like the global appeal of like people of all different colors and nationalities and creeds coming together. Awesome. So I've read a lot about this, and I've heard some different things, but I'd love your opinion about what is the kind of the lesson or the spiritual idea that Hanukkah teaches you. Like, what do you go away from as you walk out of the Hanukkah season? Does it inspire or instill anything?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, if you want to go like based off of the story about like the Maccabees, I guess patience is a virtue. They kind of like,
perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Standing up for what's right.
Right, but like, what about me personally? I mean, Hanukkah is a fun holiday for me. I don't really.
That's okay.
Out of all the holidays, this is not like the deepest holiday where I have to put, deeper thought and feelings into it, even though I guess I probably should, but I don't.
I
Yeah.
think if you're a person who believes in miracles, it's a nice
yeah.
message.
It's like,
too.
hey, miracles can happen for you when you most need them. In that
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole thing is that we had this unbelievable miracle, right? That they
One
were
night of
facing
oil
these.
lasted 8 nights while
Yeah.
they were stuck in a place with no where to go with enemies on all sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I heard one of the rabbis I was reading, he talked about how it's like a picture of we're putting light out into the darkness, like the world is dark, but we're being lights, and like so as you're lighting more and more throughout the week, it's like this growing light, which I thought was a beautiful idea.
I love
I've
that.
heard some people say some different things, but I was interested what you guys thought. So thank
I
you.
think we both personally feel more like spiritually moved by Passover
Yeah.
Wow.
And Yom
Well,
Kippur.
and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, I could. That's from what I've read. Hanukkah, yeah, like it's just not the same.
It's a side
emphasis.
holiday.
Yeah, it's a side holiday. Yeah, that's what I've read. So
There are
that makes
actually
sense.
a lot of like really cool Jewish holidays
Yeah.
that don't get enough press, and I feel like Hanukkah is a cool one, but there's also like a Jewish like Arbor Day,
Oh, interesting.
which I don't know enough about. I'm kind of learning about that
Yeah.
right now, but we'll come back to that. But it's kind of cool.
So what I'm hearing is I need to have you guys back to talk about these other holidays throughout the year as we come to them.
That would be fun.
Sure.
We'll see at the end of this. You're like, I never want to do that again.
Passover is coming next, so maybe we'll
Yes.
do a Passover one.
That would be incredible.
Passover
I'd love
novels.
that. So, if we want to wish our Jewish friends and coworkers a happy holiday, is there a greeting we should use or something we should do? Like, should we say Happy Hanukkah, or is there a different greeting we should use? Or
Happy
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, happy holidays.
okay,
I don't
that's good.
think, you had said before that people like when you wish people a happy holidays and they're like, oh, it's Merry Christmas, right? That there's this like war on Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't think Jewish people feel that way. I can't speak for all Jewish people, but like the Jewish people that we know, like I don't think Jewish people care because there's like clearly a war on Judaism all the time.
Yes,
So
it's been straight up like murdered
that's
over.
like
Yeah.
not hidden anywhere. So I think just like acknowledging that we have holidays and not forcing us to listen to your terrible Christmas music on loop at all times
Which is where I'm at right now.
is like in consideration enough.
Yes. Well, it's like one of those things where nostalgia makes us enjoy things that if we sat down and looked at the quality of, we would never put up with.
Listen,
And so-
I'm not hating on Christmas music sometimes, but like we both have worked and work in retail.
Oh yeah, you on
And
a loop.
like the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas music.
Starts
Oh my God,
up.
it's in October for
Yeah.
me.
It's like 6 songs over and over again.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and like we get it. We're gonna all have a holly jolly Christmas, but like not all of us celebrate Christmas. So
Yeah.
I think acknowledging that not everybody celebrates Christmas and like appreciating that there are other holidays is nice.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Like, is there anything we should do? Like, is there anything around? Like, if you wanted to do something for your Jewish friend or coworker to celebrate Hanukkah, is there something that you could give them or do, or is that just like not really part of that holiday?
No, I think you could.
Yeah. Sure you can.
So we give presents. So presents are always nice. Nobody's ever like, oh no, I don't want a present.
Yeah.
Food is a big one. So actually, like fried food is a thing because again, we're using and celebrating oil. So we fry food in oil.
I hadn't thought about that. That's fascinating.
So
Okay.
we fry food in oil. So like latkes.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And
Latkes.
don't call them potato pancakes during
Okay.
Hanukkah,
Okay.
because it's a latke. So you could do that, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Fascinating. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
right
can
now I
have
feel
them,
like
yeah.
everybody's stuff is over Zoom.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to send somebody specific candles so that they could light their menorahs.
Oh, okay. So that would be an appropriate gift to buy
Be
menorah
considered-
candles.
Yeah,
That's
but
sweet. I like that.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Thoughtful.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Any final things that you want to add or talk about Hanukkah or about the season at all? It could be a memory, just something else, a fun tidbit or something you wanted to share.
Fun
It's kinda hard.
tidbit.
A fun tidbit is the fact that like the Jewish calendar is super messed up.
Oh yeah.
So like we celebrate Hanukkah early this year, but sometimes it coincides with Christmas, and I'm not even gonna bother going into the
Okay.
other holidays right
Why
now
does it change?
because the Jewish calendar is super messed up.
Okay.
Um,
But it always falls in winter though, right?
yeah. I mean, like it always happens in
It's
December.
somewhere between November and December. No, I think
Yeah.
sometimes it happens in
It
November.
like starts in November and ends.
Okay.
In December.
Yeah, our calendar is like real
Real wild.
I know in John 10, when Jesus celebrates Hanukkah, it mentions that he's in the temple and it's winter time. And that's like all the detail it gives.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty
Yeah.
much. Wait, I had actually pulled up. Hold on, unlock your phone. I had actually pulled up a thing.
That's it. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hold on, let's see. Oh well, so Hanukkah means dedication. The
Yeah,
word
it-
Hanukkah.
Yeah, in John 10, when it says Jesus is celebrating, it says he's celebrating the festival of dedication, which is it's just an ancient name for Hanukkah. So.
Yeah.
And then, I just thought of something that answers two of your questions. See, I'm glad I pulled
Okay.
this up. Okay, so there are a couple of things that are like staples, right?
Okay.
For food-wise for Hanukkah. And one of them is jelly donuts.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
and you could always send somebody jelly donuts. Nobody's ever
love
like,
jelly
"I want
donuts.
any jelly donuts.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
again, it's like fried stuff, but also like sweet things. Judaism is usually seen through a lens of like we've been tortured and everything's terrible, but we're going to like take this and try to make it positive.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like there tends to be like a sweet twist to like
A
every
lot of-
holiday.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of the holidays, like their food is like there's always some type of sweet
Mhm.
thing like with the food.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It was like when we now correct me if I pronounce it wrong, the Hamantaden that we made.
Hamantashen.
Tashin, okay, that you guys
close.
showed us how to make. That was to celebrate like Haman trying to kill all the Jews in the story of Esther, right? And so it was
Yeah.
like a sweet treat. And like, hey, remember this terrible thing that happened, but we were saved out of it. Let's make
Yeah.
some dessert. So
That's basically welcome to every Jewish story.
Ever.
well, that's
This
very
happened
very
before
fitting with the light and the darkness type of imagery of
Yep.
Hanukkah. So
Light in the darkness.
that's awesome. Guys,
Now
thank
eat your feelings.
And a lot of eating our food.
Yeah.
We also should
That's humanity
think
as a
that
whole.
we are coming at this through the lens of like a very, very, very like Ashkenazi
Reform.
normative, right, reform lens. Like both of us are like our lineage is all very much like Russian, Polish, Lithuanian. Like we're not I mean, my family is Sephardic from like a million years ago, but we're not representative of like
Orthodox.
minority, like anything like that. So like all of these things are sort of like, you know, when you watch like the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
We're like the
Yeah.
Jewish light version.
Well, right, but also like we're very Ashken normative.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like Russian, Polish Jews who are like most of the Jews that you see, particularly like out of New York, look like us, sound like us, celebrate like us, but that's not an accurate representation of like Jews all over the world.
Yes. Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that. And I think everything you share will be new for the majority of my my folks who were either raised Christian or just are kind of exploring Christianity. Most of us still have no idea about most of Judaism or the Jewish culture. So thank you guys so much for sharing. Thank you so much for taking some time. And guys watching, I hope that this has been helpful. And I hope that the next time you see one of your Jewish friends or coworkers or neighbors, you can wish them a happy Hanukkah ask them some questions about the holiday, find out a little bit more about what they're celebrating or how they celebrate. And you can say, hey, I watched this video, I learned some things, is this how you do it? What? And it's a great way to have a conversation. So thanks everybody. And I hope that you have a very happy holiday season.